If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our September 21st, 2025 edition of Open Mic America. I'm Rich Fassler, your MC for tonight's show, and I'm joined by Mike Simpson, tonight's interviewer, and Capo Dave Williams, tonight's engineer and the founder of the show, and the creator and builder of Dandy Hybrid Guitars, and you're going to hear more about those later. Our mission at Open Mic America is to support your local open mics, where you can go and see songwriters performing their original music in person. Tonight, thanks to Zoom technology, we can travel all around the country and see these same performers in their own homes. Without gimmicks, without frills, this is the DNA of American music, the tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us together for generations. So listen, get comfortable. I'm going to introduce tonight's performers. And by the way, you can find links to their work on our website and on this YouTube video. Tonight's great show features the Hewitt Family Band from Brookhaven, Mississippi, Kevin Kelso from Los Angeles, California, Chris Steele from Newton Upper Falls, Massachusetts, Mike Simpson from Saratoga, California, Ron Carlson from North Oxford, Massachusetts, Jennifer McQuaid from Auburn, Maine, Hank Stone from East Patchogue, New York, Rebecca Parks from Hayward, California, and Bet Paget from Raleigh, North Carolina. So let's start tonight's show with our first performer is actually, it's a band, a favorite here of Open Mic America, no stranger to this show. The Hewitt Family Band, you can see them perform. They actually have performed at Overbrook Songwriters Festival locally back in August, and they've also participated in two other Zoom songwriter groups, Songwriter Summit out of Ohio and Music Matters Showcase in Maryland. And you can see a lot of their videos on YouTube. So, Hewitt Family Band, take it away.
We're glad to be here. After the last year we've had, I'm glad to be anywhere. People always are asking songwriters, singers, how do you get the ideas for your song? You know, these memories or somebody. Well, I used to get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and either work on songs or write songs, but since I have a little heart edition, and I've got a little, help me, I can't fall, and I can't get up thing now, Olivia bought me. I was listening to some other songs. There's a song called, from Shenandoah called 2 Dozen Roses. And the lyrics were something like, if I could cry a little longer and get a little less sleep at night, then would you change your mind? About, so one more thing. So that was my idea on this, one more time. Maybe try one more thing, get her not to leave. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. If I'd only told her I loved her one more time, it might not end enough to change her mind. If I had told her sweetly, I love you one more time, she might have not walked out that door and left me behind. At first she was a joy to be around, and I realized what a dream I'd found. There were kisses every morning, I love yous every night. We had our own little world, everything was alright. At first everything was going so well. It was like we were living in our own fairy tale. But as the years went by and we moved on, our life was becoming a sad, sad song. And I can't believe I let her go this far. She's out that door and headed towards her car. So many thoughts racing through my head. So many things I know I should have said. So I'll have to keep going and get her out of my head. But I wish I told her I love you one more time. Oh, it might have changed everything, and I would not be left behind if I'd only told her I love you one more time. And I can't believe I let it go this far. She's out that door and headed towards her car. There were so many thoughts racing through my head. So many things I know I should have said. And if I'd only told her I love you one more time, it might have been enough to change her mind. If I had told her sweetly I love you one more time, she might not have walked out that door and left me behind. And if I only told her I loved her one more time.
Very nice. Very nice.
Corbin, I'm going to write the other side of the coin, which is, why couldn't you just be nice? You know.
You've offended most of the guys that listen to this.
Yep, the ladies know what I mean.
I've had this thing about Emmylou Harris for a while, and I write with the guy from down the road where I live. He's about 20 miles. He sends me lyrics, and he lets me take them and do what I want to with them. So he sent me a little outline of this idea. I thought it was pretty good. It was kind of a well, it's called "Song for Emmylou." And if you ever do any research on her, you got to research that Graham Parsons. He's a piece of work. But anyway, it's called "Song for Emmylou." I wrote a song for Emmylou. It's a song she'll never hear. I wrote it on my sixth string, sitting in my easy chair. I first heard her with Parsons back in 1973. Love Hurts was so beautiful, still haunts my memory. And I wrote a song for Emmylou. It's a song she'll never sing. I keep it inside my music room with her picture and a dream. I saw her once in Nashville in a honky-tonk saloon. She and Towns were singing Pancho and Lefty on a Friday afternoon. And I fell in love with Emmylou and her smooth soprano voice. When she sang Buck Owens is together again, just didn't have a choice. And I wrote a song for Emmylou that I play from time to time. I imagine that she's singing to her part, I'll pantomime. I see her with her long brown hair, cowboy boots and hat. When the spotlight fades, we grab a drink, find a chair and chat. And I wrote a song for Emmylou, I keep it to myself. We perform it in the afternoon, just between ourselves. My sweet little wife is in the living room, watching her TV. She doesn't have a clue about Emmylou Harris and me. And I fell in love with Emmylou and her smooth soprano voice. When she sang Buck Owens us together again, just didn't have a choice. And I wrote a song for Emmylou, it's a song she'll never hear. I wrote it on my 6th string, sitting in my easy chair. I heard her first with Parson back in 1973. Love Hurts was so beautiful, still haunts my memory. Love hurts, love scars, love wounds and mars. Any heart not tough or strong enough to take a lot of pain, take a lot of pain. Love is like a cloud, holds a lot of rain. Love hurts, ooh, love hurts, love hurts.
Ah, beautiful song.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Charlie and Libby. Great to see you guys again. Let me pass you over to Mike Simpson, and we'll find out a little bit more about you.
Love your shirt, Rich.
Hey, Charlie, same. Right back at you.
All right.
All right, Charlie and Libby, Libby and Charlie. I'm going to start off here with something you don't expect.
Okay.
I don't care if you want to use it as a song starter. I don't
No.
care if you want to use it as the title for when you play together. If you don't want to say Hewitt Family Band, but I saw a movie advertised on TV, and the title, I instantly thought of you two guys. It was called The Outlaw and the Angel.
Oh. I think that Waylon and Jesse Coulter did a thing. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I just thought of the two of you.
I don't know if I like the angel part.
Well, you're kind of doing the thing with the black and the hat, and wearing a powerful political organization. I mean, powerful music organization's T-shirt there and all.
I guess you're right.
All right. Well, so you told us a bit about where the first song came from. Can you talk about both songs and tell us a little bit how the writing process went on it?
Well, I tried to allude to both of them. I literally used to get up before I had that little heart thing. At about 5 o'clock in the morning, I'd come in here and sit, put into YouTube. I wasn't working on the song. I would kind of just scroll, start listening for songs. Maybe I'd want to learn or get some kind of idea for a song. And that's where that first one came from. I'd always liked that Shenandoah song called another bottle of wine. I think two bottles of wine.
2 bottles of wine. Yeah.
And that idea, I hadn't heard that idea a whole lot. Like she's getting ready to leave. You could just say one more thing to make her stay. Just let me know what should I say. And that's where that came from. And then the second one, my writer friend from down the road, it kind of in the middle of my heart thing, and he knew I wasn't feeling too good and stuff, and he knew I liked Emmylou Harris, and so he set this little outline for this other song, and I just thought it was great, and I forgot about all my conditions and wrote this thing down pretty quick, and I just thought it was a neat thing for this guy to be fantasizing that he sang with Emmylou and all this stuff, and
Yeah, cool.
I thought it was
So, Libby, I know that you have a chorister background, and I suspect from when we've chatted off screen, you've got a fairly solid theory background. What do you focus on when you're developing the harmonies to work with that outlaw? I mean, with Charlie there.
Well, I don't really have to focus because I used to always be a soprano, and then I got changed in my church choir to alto, and now I have done it and sung with him so that now I think in harmony, and it has become hard for me to match a melody line because
Right.
melody a solo or a melody line just seems so one dimensional, and I think in harmony now.
Yeah. Sometimes known as among choral people as the alto dilemma. Yeah. Um, so
Alternate melody.
alternate melodies as well. Yeah, and that is you do that a lot in your style. You are doing the second melodic line kind of a thing. Um, when you guys work first have a song hit and work together, how much cross input is there?
He is not really open to corrective criticism.
It's
That's
just
all I do is figure out what my little harmony is.
Okay.
well,
Well,
she has to figure out the chords for the song, and I tell her what the chords are, and it's like we have a knife fight, like a street fight.
Well, Charlie is has a wonderful innate ear, but he has no theory background, and so he doesn't speak what keyboard players call music speak, you know.
No,
yeah.
And
Right.
so we speak two different languages, and it's difficult.
Well, and that's the main thing I personally in my life have found music theory is good for is you're in a band is that you can say things quickly or even on the fly and everybody gets it because you have that common language. That's great. Now, you were having trouble, Libby, for a while with your little box there. Did you get a new one?
No, it has decided it took a nice rest and it's doing better. I don't know why, but I just have to keep it unplugged all the time because once it gets warmed, the longer I have it on and the warmer it is, the worse it gets.
Oh, okay. Thermal fault. Yeah. Okay. And Charlie, what's next up? Where are you going to be around that somebody could see you on online or otherwise?
gosh, I don't know. We do it at Songwriter Summit, I think, first Monday out of every month. That's the next thing, and then we're going
And
down
that
to
goes good
Destin for 5 weeks. We're going to sing. Next time we're singing in November, we'll be in Destin, Florida.
with y'all.
Oh, oh, that would be wonderful.
All right.
Where I went to recover last year.
If I'm by, I'll have to take that in. And Music Matters. When you on Joe's show next? Do you have a date?
Haven't given them a day yet.
Yeah. Okay. Just remember when you ask him that he's got these new Thursday dates too.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
saw he had started
Yeah,
that.
not just the Saturday and Sunday anymore. It's
Yeah, I like the way y'all do it, where you get to sing and get through with it, well, that going around thing, you
In
know.
in a circle.
And you can,
Just
There-
you have to sit here, and
there's-
I've got a bad back, and see, soon as I get through singing, I'll turn it around. I'll sit in this nice, easy chair over here.
right. Yeah,
But
I
here,
understand.
sit there the whole time, it kills my back, you know.
Yeah, well, there are as many opinions on that as there are musicians, I'm
I know,
afraid. So,
I know.
but anyway, my opinion is always the same. I am always delighted when I see you guys are on the show. It's a pleasure to hear you, and I thank you for your willingness to come and perform on Open Mic America. We'll see you again, I hope, soon.
You always have some
Thank
good
you.
questions. We enjoy that.
Okay, back to Rich Fassler.
All right, back to Rich Fassler. Okay, Charlie and Libby, thanks. I always like the fireworks going on in the background. It's yeah, quite exciting. All right, hey, listen, we are moving now from the east to the west, and we're going to Los Angeles, California. We're going to listen to Kevin Kelso. He performs in-person open mics at Unurban Coffee and Trip, and online open mics at Fiddler's Crossing, the Far West Campfire, and he also has a solo show coming up, Fiddler's Crossing in Tehachapi, California, on January 24th, 2026. But tonight he is here on Open Mic America. So, Kevin, take it away.
Thank you very much, Rich. Yeah, you come on out for that show in Tehachapi. That's it'll be nice and cold there that time of year. Never been a person of certainty, even though sometimes I'd like to be. But that would not be the real me, 'cause deep down I'm a creature of doubt. Most of my decisions I've second-guessed, afraid I was settling for second best. You can never set your mind to rest when you're a creature of doubt. My mother tried to teach me wrong from right. She said the good would always win. So I tried to see the world in black and white, but all these shades of gray kept creeping in. So I'll waver on most things, that's just what I do. But there's one thing I know is true. It's clear that I belong with you. That was easy to figure out, even for this creature of doubt.
Oh, very nice.
Beautiful song.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a that is a song. I wrote that song for my wife. It is in the set of songs that I consider for my wife, and I'm not sure she really counts it. I've got a few that I wrote for her that she definitely counts, and then some others she's like, I don't know, that's a little bit about me maybe, but not so much. You know, everybody's a critic. Picture a man in southern Vermont with long flowing beard and angular frame, lovingly pruning his trees one by one. Ezekiel Goodban's his name. He's gathered these trees from abandoned old orchards, grafting each cutting, sealing the bark. Now they're thriving again in the old Scott Farms borders, like some apple tree, Noah's Ark. There's the Duchess of Oldenburg, the Hubbards, the Nonsuch, the Roxbury, Russet, Belle de Boscoup, and Maiden's Blush. There's so much more to it than sour or sweet. These are the apples our grandparents used to eat. Zeke's pigs won't eat store-bought apples, he claims. They take one small bite and turn up their snouts. They don't care if an apple is pretty outside. It's what's on the inside that counts. He's not growing the apples that grocery stores favor. Calling something delicious does not make it so. His are knobby and nubbled and bursting with flavor. These are apples from long, long ago. There's the Duchess of Oldenburg, the Hubbards, the Nonsuch, the Roxbury, Russet, Belle de Boscoup, and Maiden's Blush. There's so much more to it than sour or sweet. These are the apples our great-grandparents used to eat. when you bite into an apple straight from the tree. Hear the crunch, feel the juice on your chin. You might hear a voice from a past century whisper, "This is how apples tasted to me." Try the Duchess of Oldenburg, the Hubbards, the Nonsuch, the Roxbury, Russet, Belle de Boss Coupe, and Maiden's Blush. There's the Allington Pippin, the Rhinet of Zabergau, the Rhode Island Greening, Darcy Spice, and Black Gilliflower. There's so much more to it than sour or sweet. These are the apples our great grandparents used to eat.
First song I've ever heard about apples. Very clever using those names. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Let me pass you on over to Mike Simpson.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Kevin. Was this like, maybe your third time here or something like that?
Yeah, I think it is my third, yeah.
Yeah. I want to start with, let's start with, where do your melodies come from? I hear the Tin Pan Alley in your piano. You have that very polished, chordal approach to it. You're very good piano player. How about the melodies? Where do those come from?
Melodies come to me more or less from the chords. For me, the chords are a really important part of the storytelling. Like a lot of times I'll have I first of all, I start with the lyric. I pretty much write the lyric. I might have some musical ideas, but then I'm sort of working them around into a lyric. And then I start to think about the chords that I feel go with that. And then between the rhythm of the words and the chords, a melody just sort of suggests itself. So I that's pretty much how my melodies develop. And then I'll start to sort of think about them and tweak them a little bit, but they sort of suggest themselves more from the chord side for me.
Okay, so the scansion from the lyrics and the whatever the movement is melodically within the chords goes together, and you get these lovely songs that you write. That's a good thing to know.
Oh, thank you.
Songwriters like to know how other songwriters do things. Now, I have to ask, you are a writer of something that your lyrics sound simple. I know better. They're very sophisticated. They're very straightforward in a certain way. But your vocabulary is elevated, and your even when you do corrective turns at the end of because you can't get the rhyme for 8 out of sweet. You do that correction at the end, but you do it. You're slick. Do you have poetically? Do you have people who are your inspirations? Or other lyricists?
I mean, I'm a big fan of John Prine's writing. I'm a big fan of Vance Gilbert's writing. I really enjoy his lyrics and his melodies as well. I don't think I write a lot like Vance, but I sort of feel like we share a sensibility about how things work. Yeah, who else do I don't know. I think I have a certain problem-solving bent to the way I think about a lyric. I'm trying to figure out how do I get from here to there, and sometimes I have a whole story in mind, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have an idea in mind, and I kind of work my way around and find the story as I go. But a lot of my songs are story songs. I mean, it's very common for me to have a pretty strong narrative framework. But then I work them to death. I mean, I may get a version of a song out pretty quickly, but then, I often go back and compare my first draft with where I the so-called final, and half the words have changed. I mean, half. So I've kept the bones, but I've replaced an awful lot of the actual words.
And how often is part of that playing them out? You perform them, and then afterwards you go, no, I got to get a wrench out and redo that. Does that happen a lot for you?
It used to do much more than it does now. Now I've learned to internalize that audience. I used to need to play out because I had because I'm lazy, and I would think, am I getting away with this? I think I might be getting away with this. And then you play it out and you go, I'm not getting away with that. That's not strong enough. That's not clear enough. Whatever it is that I thought I was getting away with, it disabuses you. And over time I've learned, if you think you might be trying to get away with something, just go ahead and start changing it. It's not going to play. It's not going to fly.
Well, one of the things I have to give away one of my secrets here. One of the things I do when I'm listening to you guys here and getting ready to interview you is in my mind I write a 4-line review of what you did, as though I were going to write for the mag or something. And cool. I have to say, clear, concise, heartfelt, sophisticated, and very, very subtly fancy musical underpinnings to the lyrics that drive the songs. That's the kind of thing that was coming into my head. And it sounds like you agree, and I'm glad to hear that, so I'm not entirely off base. But I don't remember what you played the first time I heard you. I remember what you played the second time. And they're very much of a piece, although they're utterly different. The two songs you played last time are completely different from these two in mood. But yeah, you're good, man. I like your
Well,
stuff.
thank you. What a great review, by the way. I love that review. Yeah, I think the first time I played here, I played a song called Open Mic Tonight.
Yes,
Which
I
is
do remember that now, but you didn't
great
play
for this.
that the second time. No. Anyway, so Kevin, always great to have you. Hope, of course, as with anyone who's as impressive as you are, we always like to have you back. That would be Capo Dave you talked to about that. And Open Mic America thanks you for coming.
Great to be here. Great to see you again, Mike.
All right. So we are now going to go from the East Coast. No, I'm sorry. We're going to go from the West Coast to the East Coast. And we are going to go to Newton, Upper Falls, Massachusetts. And Chris Steele, who performs on a virtual open mic, Eagle's Nest Revisited, on Fridays at 5 p.m. That's Eastern Time. And also in person at Ward 4 in Auburndale, Massachusetts. And now he's going to perform a couple songs for us here on Open Mic America. So, Chris, you're on.
Rich, I'm a road guy. Just tell me where you want me. I'll be there. East Coast, West Coast, doesn't matter. So I'm going to start off with a song. This is called Be Careful What You Wish For. Young and hopeful, head full of dreams. I see that look on your face and I know what it means. Looking over my shoulder but then down the road, searching hard for dreams or fears to unload. Got some wisdom borrowed, some truth squirreled away. Learned enough to have something to say. Not quite a warning, but along that theme. Remember the things aren't all that they seem. So keep your living modest. I wish happiness for you, but be careful what you wish for, son, because it might come true. Nothing spent, but then nothing gained. Nothing lost, but nothing retained. A willing look, a welcome embrace. A Barbara sting wipes that smile from your face. It's a product of your fancy. They could be anything for you, but be careful what you wish for, love, because it might come true. Yeah, because it might come true. times of wonder. May queens and kaisers know your name. Life is never simple, kid. I hope I've made this plain. The longest road you'll never take is from pleasure into pain. So go and watch your step through every loss and gain, and find your promised heaven by any other name. But don't look beyond the surface, because it's all the same. Because it's all the same. Because anything can happen under the crystal blue. But be careful what you wish for, because it might come true. Yeah, be careful what you wish for, because it might come true. Yeah, because it might come true.
Good song. Good song.
That's fun.
Figure throw a little rocker in there and then completely change the tone here a little bit. This little song that I wrote, again, just being away from home so often, that things like this come just kind of out of nowhere. This is one of those songs that just woke me up in the middle of the night and just wanted to be written. This is called Home.
What if home is where we cannot go, 'cause we're already there? What if we're so busy trying to find something that's really nowhere? But love is what we want to feel, but we never can find a soul to give us the things that we won't give ourselves. No one can ever know. But I know every moment on, we get a little closer to home. I know every moment on, it's just that we'll never know. So what if hope is what we want to find, but we're standing right over the spot? And maybe a crumb, and it may be someone, and maybe something or not. But wanting more out of life, expecting and seeing the same. But what do you want from your life, expecting and nobody came? What if sons and daughters go wandering in deserts devoid of dreams? What if lovers starving of loving were saying less than they mean? What if pain is less of a default than a lazy view of the world? What if falling out of a lifeboat is more than anyone could? So what if home is where we cannot go, 'cause we're already there? What if we're so busy trying to find something that's really nowhere? But I know every moment on, we get a little closer to home. I know every moment on, it's just that we'll never know. I know every moment on, get a little closer to home. I know every moment on, it's just that we'll never know. I know that every moment on, I'm getting a little closer to home. Well, I know every moment on, it's just that we'll never know.
Thank you.
Very good.
Nice, Chris.
Very nice. All right. Thank you, Chris. Let me pass you on over to Mike.
All right. Well, truth in advertising wise, let me point out that Chris Steele is one of the OMA staffers. And you'll sometimes see him here doing interviewing or hosting. And yeah, so we're glad to have you here playing tonight. That's a lovely thing.
Always happy to be here, man.
You know the drill. I mean, you've done plenty of the interviews. What do you have to say about that first tune?
That first tune was it kind of came from I'll tell you exactly what it came from. It was during COVID, and I had been on the road a lot. And then I remember saying very distinctly to myself, like in January of 20, I was like, man, this has been too much. I need to just stay home for a while. And then, of course, COVID came, and we weren't going anywhere for whatever. And I remember thinking to myself, well, maybe be a little careful what you wish for. And then the rest of the song kind of fell from there.
Ah, yeah. Sometimes you get it. Yeah, that's right. And second tune?
Home was actually, it was, I had been really kind of feeling very nostalgic and missing family. And I just had to, I kind of did a little bit of a mental exercise where it was thinking about, the importance of appreciating the place where you are. The music itself, though, it was really kind of a fascinating situation. It was in November, I remember very clearly, and I had a Talking Head song stuck in my head, and I couldn't get it out, and I had that whole kind of rhythm stuck in there, and just the lyric kind of started to tie itself into that. It was like 3 a.m, and I was like, I'm not sleeping anyway. Let me go in the other room and actually try and write this down. And the whole song pretty much came together there.
Know about that one? Yeah, that happens. Yeah. Hey, so which Talking Head song?
I'm trying to remember. It's shoot. It's the one I can remember the video. It's where David Byrne is dancing with a lamp. It's if you give me a minute, I'm actually going to find it.
It's not critical. It's not critical, but
I'll think of it later.
So that leads me to say, what do you listen to on a regular basis?
What do I listen to? So I just lately I've been listening to a lot of like music that ends up getting played on the radio in Western Canada because I find myself out there quite a bit. I do listen to still a lot of Tom Petty. I still listen to a lot of Jackson Browne. I listen to a lot of Canadian bands like the Tragically Hip and Sloan and 5440 and things like that. And every once in a while I'll just I'll go back and there'll be some I'll get into like a Crosby, Stills and Nash kind of a mood, or I'll get into a Steely Dan kind of mood, which all of a sudden strange chords start showing up in my songs after I start listening to some
Nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, that's cool. So I have noted overall you tend to write out of your own experience pretty strongly. When you write outside of that, what is it that generally sparks that or drives that?
Storytelling. I try to. There's a little bit of theater background somewhere in things that I've done. So being able to imagine a character and then inhabit that character and write a song from there is something that I really do enjoy doing. And quite frankly, I even do that in some of my observational songs. I'll try to imagine myself in the shoes of somebody that I see on the street or in the airport or somewhere else. And
Yeah.
I find that actually is that perspective taking is a wonderful exercise, and I love some of the songs that have come from that.
All right. Well, I've taken many classes in songwriting from a lady named Carol McComb, who's one of our giants in the folk world. And I'm going to do to you what she did to me. I'm going to give you an assignment.
Yes, sir.
And she told me I want 3 to 5 songs, and I want them to be main songs for a musical. And then she went on to give me a little more of a framework, which made it fairly tough. But I won't give you a framework. I'll just say, give us Dulcinea and 2 other songs like from Don Quixote, and let's hear those coming up on open mic, because I know you're going to be back, and we'll see you then with those new songs. All right.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, Chris. Here you go, Rich.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Now I'm getting nervous. You're giving people assignments here, Mike. All right.
Only other staff members, Rich.
Oh, I see. Well, hey, guess who the next performer is? It's a guy by the name of Mike Simpson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, who needs no introduction here at Open Mic America. Mike does hosting and does some great interviewing like he's doing tonight. And he is also going to be performing for us a couple of songs. And Mike's out there in lovely, lovely Saratoga, California. He performs on Open Mic America. And I think you also perform on Music Manic Showcase, Mike. Is that correct?
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
And
there
the
you
South
go.
Bay Folks open mic stuff and
Yep. And
some others that are offshore.
all right. Well, there you go. But tonight he is with us to perform as well as interview. So, Mike, the spotlight is on you.
Well, I thank you. So, Open Mic America has, of course, a highly moral character like Capo Dave Williams would always have standards, and we have one of the standards here is you play your own songs. Certainly, always welcome and encouraged. But the other alternative is songs that are in the public domain before 1925, and this is one of those. This was written ostensibly, much of it may be even older than this, but by James A. Bland in 1880, so it qualifies. I got high, Lord, I got in jail. Lord, I got high, and I got in jail. Got high and I got in jail. I had nobody for to go my bail. My sins, they have overtaken me. Hand me down my walking cane. Lord, hand me down my walking cane. Hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna leave on the morning train. My sins, they have overtaken me. Well, the beans was tough and the meat so fat. Well, the beans was tough and the meat so fat. The beans was tough and the meat so fat. Oh, good God, I couldn't eat that. My sins overtaken me. Well, it's come on, Mom. Go my bill, won't you go my bill? Oh, come on, Mom. Go my bill. Come on, Mama, and go my bill. Get me out of this dang Nashville jail. My sins have overtaken me. Well, if I die in my distress, if I die in my distress, if I die in my distress, send me back by UPS. My sins have overtaken me. So hand me down my bottle of corn. Oh, hand me down that old bottle of corn. Hand me down my bottle of corn. Gonna get drunk as sure as you're born. My sins have overtaken me. I learned this song off a lady named Colleen, and this verse is mine, and it's for her. My friend Colleen has come and gone. Our friend Colleen has come and gone. Our friend Colleen has come and gone. I'll see her again when I pass on. My sins have overtaken overtaken me. So hand me down my walking cane. Hand me down my walking cane. Hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna leave on the morning train. My sin, they've overtaken me. My sin have overtaken me.
Yes. Nice guitar.
Really nice.
So the other thing we do here is originals, and here's an original. Absolutely in the bossa nova genre, I believe. So here we go. When the silence at last comes over me, I'll have kept the sound of every dream and all the whispers of the wood, skin in sunlight and the little chills when the clouds stir shadow on the hill. When the darkness falls, I'll keep the moon, all the embraces of each place, and all that I have loved. The startled redness of each rose, golden sparks in blue, burns its way right through to make me. Not for me the fearing, not for me the vine grasp on the wall, not for me the anxious peering, but for me the happy ending, waiting for the blessed call. When my strings are damp beneath a final stilling touch, I'll hold at last to all these gifts, all the loving, every laugh, all the rages that have passed will be surpassed by peace that comes in love. Not for me the fearing, not for me the vine grasp on the wall, not for me the anxious peering, but for me the happy waiting for the blessed call. When the silence at last comes over me, I'll have kept the sound of every dream, and all the whispers of the wood, skin in sunlight and the little chills when the clouds stir the shadow on the hill.
Ah, very nice. Very nice, Mike. Okay, well, this is your lucky day because you're the interviewer, but you're the performer, so you actually get me to act as the interviewer for you.
I do feel lucky.
And I know you're thrilled, and I feel the excitement as well. Hey, listen, it's great to hear you perform, and I know the past few times I've seen you perform, you typically will do an original but also do one of these heritage songs. And the rumor on the street is you were actually a young lad when a lot of these were written. Is that true?
That's true. Born in 1367. As long as no one takes my head, I'm okay.
Right. So moving on. So you and I had this discussion before, and I had asked you because I was a little curious about that, about playing one of these heritage songs, and so I know how you find them and how you can Google and get to them, but what jumps? I mean, there are loads of these songs, right? So
Yeah.
what jumps out at you to say, oh, I think I'll do that one? Because certainly you must not know all these songs. Some of them, I'm guessing, so what makes you choose a song over another one?
Well, in terms of you're talking about the searching procedure, one of the things I do is I go through the Smithsonian collections a lot of times and look for songs, search for songs on their website by date, and just look at all those. And if a title pops out at me, or if I go, oh yeah, I remember my grandmother listening to that, or that kind of thing, that'll pull me along. Of course, the one tonight I picked up from a fellow open mic player at the South Bay Folks, Colleen, who used to play that song a fair deal, and I know I apparently have lost it, but I was going to get my walking cane, but I don't have it. Anyway, that's probably second place, and then the third place is there are artists that I pursue, Bessie Smith, and other jazz singers and stuff, to get some of the jazz stuff that I play. There's that, and I just will click on the search engines and hit DuckDuckGo and go songs written before 1925 in New Orleans or about New Orleans, or I do a search frequently for a couple of websites who have this understanding. I search for blues up and down the Mississippi. A lot of people don't realize a lot of the blues that we have, by the time we have them and we hear them, they've made the trip up from New Orleans up to Chicago. And when they started off, they were Delta blues with one person and a guitar, or maybe a piano player and one female singer. But by the time they passed through Memphis, and they've gone through the circuit players playing them and all that kind of stuff, and they had horns and a big band, then we hear what was quite possibly Sweet Home New Orleans becomes Sweet Home Chicago, and it's a whole different kind of tune. But it's still within that time, mostly within that time frame, and you can find earlier versions of it and that kind of. That's what I do.
Huh. Interesting. I also noticed that many of the your original compositions, at least the ones I've heard, are kind of this bossa nova kind of jazz infused kind of music. I don't believe I've ever heard you do anything that's close to really a fast folk rock tune or something like that.
I have.
Do you have them? Okay, you just choose not to play them?
Well, for me, I'm trying to support what we do here and do a little education of what you can do on Open Mic America by playing the heritage songs to encourage other people to do them. For one thing, our founder loves them. And the bossa nova thing, that's just me playing out of my own pocket. That's what I like, what I write, and what I listen to a lot of. Anyway, so But yeah, I do. I did one. Maybe I haven't done it yet. Well, I'll do one for you here one of these times.
All right, I look forward to it. Also, finally, so there's kind of a common theme through these two songs was, kind of the passing on,
Oh, you mean death?
I was gonna, I was feeling
Yep, they're both
nicer
about
than
that.
death. Yeah,
They're both about that. Yeah.
yeah,
The first one is, you know, it's a common blues sort of a thing. It's like, if I go to jail, well, times being what they were back in 1880, I suspect a lot of people did die in jail, and so it's something that those people would be, they were, unlike today, they were African American in jail, so their lives were at risk. Oh, wait. Anyway, and the second one's about my passing. As I get older and I'm falling apart, it comes to mind, and because of my personal beliefs, I I ain't scared of dying, and I don't really care. If there's peace to be found in dying, then let the time be near.
there you go.
And so I was frankly inspired by hearing that Three Dog Night song, and I thought, nah, that's not quite how I would put it, but here's how I would put it. And that was the second song. Yeah.
Ah, great. Yeah, it's funny. As we get older, we think about that. Anyway, listen, great to hear you play, and great to be on the on the staff with you here at Open Mic America, and just
By the way, that sure is one dandy guitar, isn't it?
it is one dandy guitar. I made a little mention of that when you were and when I was applauding after the first song, and we'll hear more about those little dandy guitars in just a bit. So anyway, Mike, thanks. You can put your interviewer hat back on, and I
It
will
gives
go.
me hat hair. I don't usually wear it.
Okay, good to know. Anyway, we are now moving from California, and we're going to the East Coast. We are going to North Oxford, Massachusetts, and we are going to hear a gentleman, Ron Carlson, who performs at John Henry's Hammer in Worcester, Mass. He also has 2 CDs you can listen to: The Songs We Sang Together and The Procrastinator. And that music is streaming on all platforms. Also, you can find out more at roncarlsonmusic.com. But tonight, he's right here on Open Mic America. So, Ron, take it away.
Thank you very much. And thanks for having me here. This song I'm going to start with is called Mary in Her Garden, or Mary's Garden. I'm not sure yet. But it's pretty much a true story. The factory I referred to in the second verse, it was the Wyman Gordon factory that used to exist in Worcester. Not there anymore. Mary lived next door to us, an immigrant from Poland. Came here just before the war, when the Germans stormed her homeland. She owned the 3-decker where she lived in her small productive Eden. Sunflowers bloomed, tomatoes grew. She raised them all from seedlings. We were so young, we brothers 3, we thought her frail and ancient. We'd raid her garden on some nights. When she cursed, we mocked her accent. Factory across the street, 3 shifts and seldom quiet. The drop porch hammer filled the air, our white-noised background siren. 3 blocks away from Kelly Square and on to City Hall. From St. Anthony's Lot to Crompton Park, we knew the back ways all. Brain cramp. We learned to live, dance, drink, and fight, longing just to get away. Mary kept her garden green in the little home she made. Most houses fell into disrepair, except for Mary's home and garden. Our absentee landlords were happy to sell when the factory came calling. To build more lots for their workers' car, our homes to the wreckers fell. One by one they tumbled down, but Mary wouldn't sell. Gathered then at Uncle Tom's and raised a toast to that old lady. Made the fat cats wait a while, whose garden green's our memory. Mary lived next door to us, immigrant from Poland. Came here just before the war, when the Germans stormed her homeland.
Oh,
Beautiful song.
Thank you so much for that memory lapse there. Kept a second guitar on hand so you wouldn't have to listen to me retuning in between songs. This is a song called Moonbeam. In the early 1900s, there was a farm just outside of Worcester, Massachusetts, in the town of Auburn, owned by the Ward family, Asa and Effie Ward. And they had a nephew named Robert who would sometimes work on their farm. This is his story. A young man with a pruning saw, as the sun was setting red, had one more chore to finish before he could go to bed. He leaned his ladder up upon a scraggy cherry tree, thinking if the moon could soar so high, why oh why can't we? It was on his Aunt Effie's farm that Robert dreamed his dreams of mankind flying to the moon. How odd it must have seemed to his relatives who worked the farm, classmates in his school. People called him Moonbeam and thought him quite a fool. That old farm, it's a golf course now. The little balls fly high. Golf balls soar like rockets and soar back to the ground. You can't hold a moonbeam, and dreams are like the wind. Dreamers hold the future as our little planet spins. Beneath the farmers' calloused hands to raise the food we eat. We also need the dreamers whose grasp exceeds their reach. We toil away the hours and days beneath an endless sky. But moonbeams are the stuff of dreams, and dreams let us fly high. That old farm is a golf course now, the cherry tree cut down. Golf balls fly like rockets and arc back to the ground. You can't hold a moonbeam, and dreams are like the wind. Dreamers hold the future as our little planet spins. When the first small rockets flew and roared, the neighbors all complained. The newspapers call him a lunatic and lots of other names. He moved out to New Mexico to carry out his tests that led to mankind's giant leap in Neil Armstrong's first step. The old farm, it's a golf course now, the cherry trees cut down. Golf balls soar like rockets and they arc back to the ground. You can't hold a moonbeam, and dreams are like the wind. And dreamers hold the future as our little planet spins. So it might strike you funny, but our journey to the stars began on the small golf course where I struggled to make par. When that little rocket sizzled high, I wondered if he knew how little time would pass before his childhood dream came true. The old farm, it's a golf course now, the cherry trees cut down. Golf balls soar like rockets, then they arc back to the ground. But you can't hold a moonbeam, and dreams are like the wind. And dreamers hold the future as our little planet spins. You can't hold a moonbeam, and dreams are like the wind. Dreamers hold our future as our little planet spins.
Very nice, Ron.
Beautiful guitar.
Very nice. Let me pass you on over to Mike Simpson now for an interview.
All right, Ron Carlson. Hey, have you played Open Mic America before?
I have not. This is my first.
That's what I thought. Okay. Well, welcome home, man. You know?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. First off, first guitar, what was that you played?
The guitar itself, the Lara bass.
Larry Bay, yeah, okay. And secondly, okay, brain lock. I'll move on to another question. No, now I remember. Do you know who Richard Thompson is?
Of course I know Richard Thompson.
Yeah, because that sounded a bit in his Irv, as it were, on that first one. What do you think about that comparison?
I'm pleased as punch that you would put me in that category at all. He's somebody I've listened to for a long time. I've been listening to folk music forever. I was a folk music disc jockey in the Worcester area for some 20 odd years, where I met my off-camera wife, who was also a folk music disc jockey there. So, yeah, I've listened to a lot of Richard over the years.
Yeah. Well, great song. Anything you want to say about the writing of that one?
Well, as I said, it's a very true story. I put myself in my friend Bartholomew's shoes. Bartholomew, my buddy Bart, lived right next door to Wyman Gordon factory that's no longer there in Worcester, but it was there for a long time. And wherever you lived in Worcester, where I also lived, you could hear the drop forge almost constantly. And that was his neighbor. It was this little Polish lady who we thought, we were young, snotty city kids. We kind of made fun of her accent. Would occasionally raid her garden. And then as the neighborhood went into decline, she was the last one to hold out. Didn't sell her property. Her kids sold it when she passed away. So she made that company wait until they could buy her house and complete the parking lots they wanted to build there. And it's funny how your perspective changes as you grow. That funny-old lady next door became one of our heroes.
Yeah. Tough old people are good heroes, yeah. They are. Second song. I'm going to ask you an obvious question, but then you'll expand on it for me, please. The political core, the cultural core of your song is in many ways, I think, perhaps addressing a concern that a lot of us who lived through or our parents worked on or whatever the whole space program from the 50s through when it sort of perished in terms of human people going places instead of just robots. How do you think that affects younger people now, not having that around on the news, not having those people around to see and to hear? And what do you think?
Well, the song, of course, is about Robert Goddard, the father of my
Right.
modern rocketry, and he literally did launch that rocket on a golf course not far from here.
Yep.
And then Robert Goddard was a dreamer. I think the last thing he envisioned was that program to be weaponized. When the Germans started launching V8 rockets, he probably
V1
had
and
nightmares
V2,
about
yeah.
what he had done. And our government was seemingly unaware of him. When they spoke to Warner von Braun after the war and asked where he learned all this stuff, he asked, "Why didn't you talk to Robert Goddard, your expert?" We still have a very small space program, by and large. We put rovers out on planets. I don't think the public at large is as aware as we were at the time.
Right. And my
They have
question.
other technological things that capture their interest. This
Okay.
was the first time technology grabbed a hold of us as a whole. It created a lot of scientists. It brought a lot of people into those fields. People wanted to become astronauts. Well, I don't know. It's a very different way we use technology now. The classic question was, what did we get when we landed on the moon? Well, we're communicating with that offspring of that, and all the computer development that led to our current technology came from
Teflon.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Excellent answer to the question. What are you writing now? Where's your brain traveling right now?
Well, that song. I stumbled on it a little bit. That song's about a week old at the moment.
Oh, okay. That's
So
recent.
that is my most recent piece, but I can't tell you what my next song is going to be. I tend to write a lot from experience. This was local history. A lot of my songs do lately in recent years have centered in central Massachusetts, either people I've met or like this little bit of history of Robert Goddard. Had two family members, my grandfather and father, both worked at U.S. Steel in Worcester before it evolved, so I have some songs about that. But Worcester is a changing city, and like we're a changing country. It was a manufacturing plant center, and now it's leaning into medicine and technology. So it's still trying to find itself in many ways as a city.
Yeah. Well, you're certainly walking with giants in terms of preserving local history through songwriting. There, hey, your T-shirt there. Can you show what is that there?
The Old Songs Festival of Music and Dance, Altamont, New York.
Okay, and it's a virtual thing. Is it annual or?
This one was virtual. This was
That was
the
in
one for
2021.
yeah. This was for the year during the pandemic.
Okay, I
The
see.
Old Songs Festival is held in Altamont, New York, and it's a yearly event.
About
Last
40 years.
40 years for running the show. We've been to most of them. What weekend is it?
It's the last weekend in June.
Last weekend of June. You can find it. The Old Songs Festival of Music and Dance. It's a very good one.
All right. Well, you keep writing. We'll keep listening. And like I say, welcome home. And I'm sure we'll see you other times here. Thank you for coming.
Very much. Enjoy the evening.
All right. So here we are, halfway through tonight's excellent show, with 4 more great performers in the wings, and you're wondering, how can life get any better? Well, how about a chance to win one of the coolest new acoustic guitars around? The Dandy Hybrid guitar, designed and built by our very own Capo Dave Williams, Open Mic America's founder. We've actually heard the capo being performed, being used on a couple of performances already. And listen, getting a chance to win one is really super easy, because all you have to do is either be a performer on one of our shows, or actually join the staff and do stuff behind the scenes. Every time you're doing something for the show, or a performer on the show, your name gets put on one of these little tickets and gets put into a fishbowl that coming up here in December, one lucky person is going to have their little ticket drawn out of the fishbowl by Capo Dave Williams. So think about that. Every time you perform, every time you work behind the scenes on the show, your name gets in there, and so your chances get better and better. And so you may be asking, so what makes this Dandy Hybrid so special? Well, it's an acoustic guitar. It's very unique in its design, and it projects distinctive sound, considerably higher volume than flat tops. And I'm going to ask Capo Dave, if he would, to come in and give us just a little more info on these guitars he's designed. So Capo Dave, are you with us?
Yeah, thanks so much, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Have been hearing terrific music tonight. Wow. Really, really wonderful music. Looking forward to the rest of the show. And that drawing for the Dandy guitar will be on December 21st. That's the second Sunday in December. We'll be giving away one of the latest builds. This is number 37 right here. And this is the new configuration of Dandy with the normal configuration bridge, and of course it has the same high radius top and floating fingerboard as the earlier Dandies, but this one makes sound more like a conventional guitar. You heard Mike's Dandy has more of the hard wooden kind of old-timey sound, but every time we do a show, I like to talk a little bit about the building of the Dandy guitar and guitars in general. And tonight I wanted to talk about necks. And if you look at your guitar neck and think about it, it would take a pretty good sized piece of wood to make a guitar neck, because the neck where it joins the body, it's pretty deep there, and the headstock leans back. But you might not be surprised to know it, but all the manufacturers, the big manufacturers, and even the high-end manufacturers use necks that are glued together, 3 or 4 pieces of wood. And they don't do this because they're being cheap. Well, maybe some of them do. But the problem is with the production numbers that they're having to meet, they can't get enough solid billets of mahogany, maple, whatever. So a smaller outfit like Dandy, we can build with a solid one piece piece of wood. Now this is mahogany, and it's 3x4, and 2 necks can be made out of this. And this is a time when I happen to have all the phases of necks kind of present. So I wanted to share this. This would be one of the cutouts from a billet like that. Okay, that'd be the next step. And right here is the sister of that billet that is now a dandy neck. Still not completely shaped. Doesn't have its overlay, ebony overlay, but the fingerboard is dead on, straight, precision, everything else, and ready to go on a guitar. So just a little bit about the guitars tonight. And thanks so much, Mike, for playing your dandy. And I
My
think
pleasure.
that Paget is going to play her dandy for her first song later tonight. If you want to learn more about the dandy guitars, go to dandyguitars.com, and I've got a number of them for sale. Some early prototypes, pretty reasonable, and even the latest models are, I think, pretty reasonable. So check it out, and thanks for listening. I'm going to turn it back over to Rich here, and hear some more great music.
All right. Thank you, Dave. So listen, whether it's an open mic, a circle jam, a campfire, an open box car on a moving train, or a No Kings demonstration, a Dandy Hybrid delivers. You can learn more about the Dandies and hear them played on the website, dandyguitars.com. And a link will be placed in the YouTube chat, and you'll find a link to Dandy Hybrids at the bottom of the openmicamerica.com homepage. So check it out. We are now moving to Auburn, Maine. We're going to hear another performer who's performed a number of times here, a favorite of Open Mic America, Jennifer McQuaid. And she performs on a number of virtual open mics, Rosendale Music Matters Showcase and the Catbird Cafe, as well as Open Mic America. So Jennifer, you are on.
Well, thank you so much, Rich. I don't know, can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, outstanding talent tonight, and I'm just going to start it off with an older song. I still haven't had a chance to work on some new material here, but this is an older song I wrote, and this is called Chasing a Dream.
I can feel your shadow chasing me through this darkness. I know that it's your heart chasing me, and I resist. But please don't stand so close to me. I need that space so I can breathe, and maybe I'll come around to your point of view. Until then, I'll be chasing the wind like an angel, spreading her wings, soaring through the sky, never landing, looking down from above, anticipating love from above, far away just enough for me. If you find yourself all alone with the walls closing in, well, please know that I appreciate all the time we've been sharing. But please don't stand so close to me. I need that space so I can breathe, and maybe I'll come around to your point of view. Until then I'll be chasing the wind, like an angel spreading her wings, soaring through the sky, but never landing, looking down from above, anticipating love from above, far away just enough for me. Please don't stand so close to me, 'cause I'm just afraid. Please don't understand me, I don't even know myself. Whoa. I will always be chasing the wind, like an angel spreading her wings, soaring through the sky, never landing, looking down from above, anticipating love from above, far away just enough for me.
Ah, very nice. Love that 12 string. Jangly
Thank you
12
so
string.
Let's see. Okay, well, the second song I'm going to do, I did this on Music Matters a few months ago, but always good to kind of keep up with, what I was doing there. And anyway, this one's called Follow Your Dreams.
Why does an artist paint a vision in their mind? They spend hours painting all the time. Why does a dancer dance to the beat of a song?
Do I hear some talking?
Maybe. Let me mute some people here. Hold on.
I didn't know if you were yelling at me.
No, you're good to go. Sorry about that. I just muted them.
Oh, God. Sorry about that. We'll start that one again.
Why does an artist paint a vision in their mind? They spend hours painting all the time. Why does a dancer dance to the beat of a song? Their feet come alive, dancing all night long. Is it too late to follow your dreams? The ones that linger by a stream, yeah. Why does a writer write what they don't say? Paper and pen in hand, ready to throw away. Why does a musician play every day, hoping someone hears what they wrote today? So please don't give up, follow your desire. What lies deep in your heart will take you even higher, yeah. desire, yeah. Know it's hard when the world gets you down. You need to let it go. I need you around. Do what it is you do, deep from your heart. The world needs to hear a voice in the dark. So please don't give up. Follow your desire. What lies deep in your heart take you even higher, yeah. Do you see a heart on fire? Deep inside, burning with desire, yeah.
Ah,
Thank you so much.
Oh, that 12 string, the chords you play are really nice in that last song. All right, listen, enough of me. Let me pass you on to Mike so we can hear more about you.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Jennifer. I'm going to spotlight myself here.
Yeah, sorry about that last one. I just heard some people screaming in the background, and I was like, uh-oh. I thought I better stop it, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't see me as spotlighted, so maybe Dave hasn't done that. But let's go on anyway, because I can see you. The 12 string and you. What's the love affair there?
I just fell in love with it the first time I heard it. First time I heard it, somebody came over my house. I probably couldn't have been more than 8, 9 years old, and he just sat down. He started playing it, and I just fell in love with it. I said, one of these days I'm going to get one of those, you know. So I love the the addition of all those other strings, to make all those different notes and whatnot.
Well, you definitely got one there. It's a good sounding one too. Those two songs, yeah. Capo Dave was telling me, he says he knows that it's on the spotlight. I don't know if Jennifer spotlighted or not. Yeah, it shows that it's on for me too. Oh well, anyway. So those two songs, kind of different. What was at the writing root of the first one there?
The first one, again, it was an older song. I had this super nice guy just help me out everywhere, and we would go in town and play on the streets of Boston. And, he would go on his corner, I would go on my corner, and the two shall meet or whatever. But after a while, it just got too much. And I was like, you know what? I need a little space, just I appreciate your company, but I need a little time to myself too. But anyways, that's where that song had come from, The second song, Follow Your Dreams, I was trying to be more inclusive, with everybody. I mean, there's so many people that make up the world today, dancers, writers, musicians, carpenters, plumbers, secretaries. I mean, you name it. Very diverse population here. So I was trying to include, a few of those generalizations into that second song, And again, just follow your dreams. I mean, I think everybody here, outstanding talent as usual, but they're all following their hearts. They're all following what they love. And I just wanted to do a song, to showcase that a little bit.
Yeah. So We've talked before about your influences, sort of in a broad, general sense. How about right now? Who are you listening to? What's going on in your ears?
I, again, I hate to say it, but I revert back to the older stuff. I find myself on YouTube, going back in time and I love watching the younger people's reactions to the older music that we grew up with. And it's got me mesmerized at the moment. Like, some kid, 22 years old, first time he's hearing Simon and Garfunkel,
Right.
or Queen, or the Eagles, or, and of course, I identify with the songs that they're playing, but just to see their reaction is just so heartwarming to me. But as far as, current music, there hasn't been a whole lot that's caught my ear, and maybe that's partly my fault for maybe not searching the right avenues or whatever. But, and again, this is why I like coming here, because you're hearing a diverse amount of music here. I mean, everybody here is just so extremely talented, but we're all a little different, and I just love it.
Yeah, you got some diversity here. That is to be sure, and you certainly contribute to that. You always catch me every time you play. You grab me with the force of how you present the song, even if
Well,
it's
you
quiet.
do the same thing to me. I mean, I'm mesmerized when I listen to your guitar work. I'm like, how much time does he spend on that, learning that? Because it just comes out so awesome. I mean,
Well,
I'm sticking to chords. I mean, it's just basically if I get the chord, I can just slide up and down or whatever. But you're doing the finger picking, and
it's the
just
dandy guitar. That's what.
yeah, it's a lot more intricate, I think. But
Well, thank you. But like I say, the 12 string is a definite contributor to that forward pressure that your stuff has in getting your message in, and I love hearing it, and I am gonna love hearing it again next time I hear you here on Open Mic America. And thank you for coming.
well, thank you,
See you soon.
Awesome night tonight. Thanks.
All right, we are going to stay on the East Coast. We are going to go a little bit south, though, to East Patchogue, New York. We're going to listen to Hank Stone. Hank performs, he says he performs at his favorite in-person open mic called Noom, or North Shore Original Open Mic. And it's held every Wednesday, except the third Wednesday, at the Cinema Arts Center in Huntington, New York. He's got a new album coming out pretty soon. You can check hankstone.music for more details. And tonight he's going to play a couple of tunes for us right here on Open Mic America. So Hank, take it away.
Thank you, Rich. So I'm going to do a fairly new song. I wrote this back in March, and I kind of forgot about it. And been writing a lot of other things from prompts and stuff. And I recalled it the last week when I was getting ready for a gig I'm going to do next Tuesday, and decided to dust it off and practice it. So I'm going to be accompanied by my friend Eric and Jen, a nice couple. They are music teachers, and they both play the flute for me, and we're going to do some interesting jams and stuff. But this is called The Language of Joy. Look up, see the blue sky. Look down, see buds sprout from the soil. See the newborn with wide eyes. The bountiful fruits of our sweat and toil. And tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. Hear the beat of the dancer's heels. as shadows pulse on the walls of the cave. Textured fabrics tease our fingers. We are surfing a permanent wave. And tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. How do we translate our daily breath into the language of joy? The language of joy. How do you give somebody courage as they cower from shades in the night? One way to minimize their fear is to point their eyes towards the light and show them how you feel. Show them how you feel. How do we translate our daily breath into the language of joy? The language of joy.
Tune.
Something a little different, a little lighter. We were talking about the moon, right? I have quite a few songs that mention the moon. This one came about from a songwriting exercise. The prompt was astronomy. And I just thought about an astronaut being on the moon. You know, if you go someplace, you travel somewhere and you get homesick, you can, you look around, you see a different city or different mountains or whatever, and so you're not constantly reminded of your home, so you can kind of weather it. But if you're on the moon and you get homesick, you look up and there's the Earth right up there, right all the time. So I thought about that. This is called Moonbound and Homesick. It's called. You know, I always forget the titles and so I sing it, but we'll get to it. Moonbound and homesick, looking up at a beautiful planet. Moonbound and homesick, a rocket is leaving, I ought to be on it. As far as the sky is black, I'm gonna make my way back to my sweet, sweet home, Terra. Light foot and heavy heart, looking up at a beautiful planet. I should skip, but I drag my feet, consequence of a different orbit. One taste of this plastic air reminds me that I wanna be there on my sweet, sweet home, Terra. I miss the songbirds and the skunks and skeeters and each butterfly. I miss the rivers that flow, the breezes that blow, all the leaves that flutter by. Take me home, country rocket, to the purple mountains, majesty so high. Glaciers, deserts, and oceans, bustling cities under the blue, blue sky. Moonbound and homesick, looking up at a beautiful planet. Moonbound and homesick, a rocket is leaving, I ought to be on it. As sure as the sky is black, I'm gonna make my way back to my sweet, sweet home, Tara. Sweet, sweet home, Tara. My sweet, sweet home, my home, sweet Tara. Sweet, sweet home, Tara.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, Mike had to leave for just a little bit. He'll be back. So I'm going to take over his interviewing slot for you. And Hank, I love those two songs. So where do you get your inspiration for the songs that you write?
From everywhere, I guess. You know, I read a lot, and sometimes I'll get an idea right away from that book, maybe not relating to the book, but just something. I'll go off on a tangent from something, a certain sentence. And other times the book will just sit with me, and maybe months later I get an idea. Oh yeah, that I heard about that in that book, and it just might remind me. So I think it comes from everyday occurrences too. Sometimes just looking out the back window at squirrels and the birds and stuff. And lately I've been in a songwriting group. We meet online every couple of weeks, and we get a prompt, and about 24 of us, and we each share the song. And it's not doesn't have to be a great song. Is what it's just a kind of an exercise to try something out of your usual comfort zone and just write something a little different, or even if it is something in your wheelhouse, that you. And so that's been. I didn't need to have more prompts because I do write fairly prolifically, but it's just been wonderful to have this group too, because we watch everybody progress. A couple people that I wasn't very impressed with at the beginning, they're okay, they don't know what they're doing, but all of a sudden, boom, there's a song that knocks me out, and so it's a process. If anything, is when you do something, you get better at it, no matter what it is, and that's what we're finding out.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. So you say you're pretty prolific. So how many songs do you write, let's say, in a year?
In a year? Anywhere. Well, this goal of this group was to write 21 songs every year. We started back in 2021 during the pandemic, but we just keep it at 21. So I've got at least 21. In most years, I probably have written already another 21 or 31, already. So, yeah, anywhere. A song a week is not, and a lot of them don't get finished, but,
Yeah, I'm kind of in awe because I write music too, and but I'll write a song, maybe another song will hit me. I've got in my memo on my iPhone, I've got these little bits of songs in the message recorder or whatever. But I can go, God, I'll tell you, I can go months without writing a song, and so I'm always in awe of people who can just keep the process flowing like that.
I guess I'm lucky, but I have had times when it was been number of weeks nothing, and I've learned not to let it bother me. It's like I know it always comes back, so
Yeah. So are you one of those people who start playing guitar at a young age and just continued it, or are you a late guitar learner?
No, I started when I was 8. I was fortunate, and the school offered during lunch break to go in and get. One teacher came in and she taught like accordion, clarinet, and guitar, and then we went home, and I guess
all the good instruments.
Right. So I took to it enough that my parents got me to a professional teacher who's for about 3 years, I guess I studied with him and learned Spanish guitar,
Ah,
which I probably forgot most of it, but I know enough theory and what you're supposed to do, and it's a good grounding in this stuff. But I foolishly stopped taking lessons. I wanted to play rock and roll,
of
and
course.
so
Who didn't?
I didn't
Yeah.
learn rock and roll except, watch playing along with records. So that's,
Well, were you? Did you? Were you in a band? Like in
We
high
had
school?
bands. Yeah, I grew up in Queens in the city, so we had we were right under the flight path for JFK, and so the constant noise. I'd make the story that everybody in the neighborhood got into motorcycles or hot rods or electric guitars just so we could be heard.
Yeah. Well,
Make
the
our
good
own
news.
noise.
Yeah, the good news is you could play, as loud as you wanted, and but probably more people complained about the jets flying overhead
Right.
than
Yeah.
the music coming out.
Mm.
So, uh, so when you were younger, though, I mean, when you were, you picked up the guitar, you're 8, and in your teen years, and after that, so who are the bands you listened to, or who are the performers you listened to that may have
Well,
influenced you?
yeah, the first influence on me was probably AM radio from the mid '60s. From
Right.
all those pop songs. You heard everything from country and western to rhythm and blues, the jazz. They all got onto the top 20 or top 40 of the local stations. WABC I was listening to, and so you had a good grounding of a wide variety of music. And then, as we went into FM, of course, it was the Beatles, the Stones, and Dylan, and everybody else that followed, the Grateful Dead, and Elton John, and Incredible String Band, and Van Morrison, all my favorites,
Oh
Jackson
yeah,
Browne. You know, I could keep going, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
won't bore.
It's interesting. Very quickly, you mentioned, AM radio. I too, we had an AM radio in the car, and we go on trips, and we'd listen to, all this music on AM radio, and we didn't know it at the time, but it sounded so bad. I mean, it was okay because that's what we had, but now you go back, and there's a local station here in the Seattle area that actually plays rock and roll on AM, and it sounds just like it sounded when I was a kid. I didn't realize how bad that was until, of course, you get the album you played at home, or FM came on. So just real quickly, you say you've got a new album coming, and you say finally. So what's the story there? What stopped you, or was there a
Nothing
problem
really.
bringing it on?
Nothing really stopped me. I got fortunate. The first one didn't really cost me anything to record. It was a friend that was learning the studio, and he wanted to produce other people, and so I just paid him for the CDs that he burned for me. And that second one, I paid about $2,500, and we got the same guy. He had got better at it. And then the third one, I paid a lot of money for to produce a big CD with colored booklet and everything, and I went over the top. It was kind of like a vanity project, but they all came out musically nicely. So this time around, I'm fortunate. There's a local record company, Paradiddle Records, that took me on and said, "Well, Hank, we want to do an album with your songs." And I said, "Okay." And I sat down with the producer and I played through like 32 songs, and he chose about 18 of them, and then we whittled it down to 15. And so we finally took us about 2 years altogether because he's had other projects and I was involved with stuff. But every song is going to be very different. I've got a horn section on one. I've got
Wow. Yeah.
pianos and other stuff. So it'll be kind of like my Revolver by the Beatles.
Oh, wow.
Where every
Okay.
song is a different genre, but it's them, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, very good. Well, we'll be on the lookout for that. And once again, your website is hankstone.music.
Yes.
And great to have you on board here. And we look forward to having you come back real soon.
My pleasure to be here.
All right.
Thank you all.
You bet. So we are going to go now from New York. We're going out to the West Coast, to Hayward, California. And we're going to listen to Rebecca and Gary Parks. And they perform Monday nights at the Bistro in Hayward, California. And they've got a big triple album release gig coming up. They're going to be playing that on October 11th at the Piedmont Center for the Arts in Piedmont, California. So, Rebecca and Gary, take it away.
Gary will be coming in on the second song, but the first one is just me. There's a cliff where many people throw themselves into the sea. But a gentleman invites them to his home to have some tea. He doesn't ask for details, but they tell him anyhow. And some write to him later, saying life is better now. Say something, something really hurt. The future may depend upon your caring word. Say something, you might save the day. Remind a troubled soul that there's another way. At a high school drinking party, one girl had more than she should. And it could have ended badly, with two boys up to no good. But a classmate saw it happen, and he said, leave her alone. Then he asked her what she needed, said goodbyes and drove her home. Say something, something really hurt. The future may depend upon your caring word. Say something, you might save the day. Remind a troubled soul that there's another way. I don't know if life's unknown direction will ever put me through that kind of test. I can't promise I will be successful, but I can promise I will do my best to say something. He had lots of ammunition, and he thought that no one cared. All the classrooms were on lockdown, and the bookkeeper was scared. But she asked him for a story, and she told some of her own. He surrendered to her kindness, choosing not to act alone. Say something really hurt. The future may depend upon your caring word. Say something, you might save the day. Remind a troubled soul that there's another way. Say something, say something.
Beautiful song. Very nice.
Now we're going to kick it up a bit and bring Gary in here. Just kind of span things out a bit so you can both be seen as well as heard. And I wrote this song way back in the early aughts in the Enron era, but I could have written it yesterday.
He's got the world in his pocket, doesn't pay his share of tax. When the laws start to catch him, he just makes those laws relax. He gets his sweetheart deals done while the public is asleep. Some small change to a senator, then profits he will reap. He's got the world in his pocket, 'cause politicians are so cheap. He's got the world in his pocket, reputation is intact. When the truth starts to catch him, he invents a different fact. It's all been kept secret, no one ever seeks redress for the overseas slave labor and environmental mess. He's got the world in his pocket, 'cause he owns most of the press. His power comes from his invisibility, but all of his decisions impact you and me. He can be counteracted by the public voice. Support him or expose him, we do have a choice. He's got the world in his pocket, he sees what he wants to see. When the deaths start to catch him, he just says, well, don't blame me. His global corporate empire will make all stockholders thrive. He'll make grand ambitious forecasts shift to overdrive. He'll have the world in his pocket, yeah, while the world is still alive. He'll have the world in his pocket while the world is still alive.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Damn.
Great, great. Okay, Rebecca and Gary, let me send you on over to Mike Simpson.
All right. Hey, you two crazy kids. How you doing?
Hey, Mike.
So, I want to talk a little bit about the two songs, but I want to start by asking about the majestic 3-album release that's coming up.
Okay, I'll
First off, what are they called?
Just kind of flashing these things up in front of the camera. This is my album of originals.
I think I recognize the woman on the cover.
Gary did the cover art. And then there's another album of covers that we did that features Gary mostly on lead vocals. Again, Gary did the cover art.
All right.
And then, I never thought I'd do one of these. Solo Guitar Works. And you're like, who's Amy? Well, Amy is that guitar over here that I just played.
Oh, okay. So,
Okay,
Amy's the guitar. That's right. I knew that.
Yes, this is Amy.
So, how long? It's been, what, almost 2 years making those 3 albums?
It's been about 3 years.
About 3 years. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking to my right. I'm sorry to be absent. My sister fell, and I had to go help her get up. And
Oh, no problem.
yeah, so if I have to suddenly dash, Rich will no doubt take over handily. The focus on the first album is everything on that new?
Yes, it's new, and I wrote it.
And you wrote them. And then the second one, those are
Cover tunes.
all covers.
And they range
from the panorama of our lives, so from the late 60s up until just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Tears for Fears came out with a new album when one of the songs on that album is
we
on
cover
ours.
Garbage, we cover Susie and the Banshees, we cover The Doors, we cover Crosby, Stills, Nash.
And we basically, it ranges from old 60s folk to Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, we do Battle of Evermore.
Isn't Led Zeppelin old 60s folk?
Well,
I'm just asking.
Sometimes.
Well, I don't know. The one we covered came out in '72.
At this point,
so,
they pretty much made it into the folk music category, right?
Well, I mean, they do really hard rock, and they also do unplugged stuff. So
yeah, I'm just saying, in terms of you hear them played by people at open mics and things like that, a lot. And,
well.
And then the last one, is it featuring instrumentals?
Yeah, it's solo guitar.
All solo guitar stuff.
Yeah.
I have a friend that I think you used to study with. Is he helping with any of that?
Stevie Coyle is my guitar teacher, and he's amazing. He's an amazing performer, but he's also a really good teacher.
Yeah. Did he have any input into the Amy album?
Well, I started studying with him when I had learned enough guitar that I felt like, okay, I'm ready to try to move all of these songs that I wrote on piano. I started piano at age 9. I started guitar at the tender age of 45. And I asked 3 different people, and I think you were one of them. Do you know a good guitar teacher who could help me with
I remember when you
original
asked me,
songs?
you told me, you said, I need a guitar teacher. I've learned just enough to be dangerous.
Well, I
That's what
didn't
you
say
said.
that.
No, I could hear you saying that. I could totally imagine.
Yeah, no, I mean, you were just making a point and being humorous, but yeah, all right. So that's the fruit of a good deal of work for you guys for a long time.
Yeah.
The second song, it's pretty new, you said?
No, it's an old song. I
wrote
wrote it
before we met.
in the early aughts. Enron and WorldCom and Tyco and a whole lot of other companies melted down because they had inflated their stock price through a bunch of bookkeeping shenanigans, and so I wrote that song at that time.
Right.
But just recently I dusted it off, and I'm like, I could have written this one for this time.
Right,
When?
the more things change, the more they stay the same.
That song was back on our first album, and I sang it. It was one of the first things she turned over for me to sing.
And Gary, you did the album art for all 3, or
all 3? I've
for all
always
3,
done the stuff for her albums. Yeah.
did I see a little Egyptian influence in there?
Well, not consciously. The first, the portrait of Rebecca that's done, that was an oil painting, and it was inspired by a roundel, a painted roundel.
Okay, well, he's talking about.
Art history time here. Wow. I'll try to make it reasonably concise. There's a roundel in the auditorium of the old 1922 Castro Theater in San Francisco, where they have a lot of silent film festivals and things. And so I was inspired by that, and it looks a lot different. And then the word Rebecca Parks, that's just because I love the old Fillmore posters and stuff of the 60s and 70s, where it's kind of acid trippy and stuff, and I love
very
doing
reminiscent.
signs.
Yeah.
I used to have a sign business. That's that one. And then on all the Adventures with Amy, that's inspired by the art of Arthur Matthews, who was an early 20th century artist who worked out of San Francisco.
Okay.
Yep.
These are California poppies.
Yes, indeed. And it's like a Big Sur coastline. On the back, Rebecca's sitting at the Palace of Fine Arts colonnade and all that stuff. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. And then the other one was just kind of a cubist thing. And I unabashedly swapped the type font from a Susie and the Banshees album cover. But the word dyad down at the bottom, Rebecca designed. Those little triangles, that says dyad, which is the title of the CD. So.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, okay. Well, very nice. I wish you guys every bit of. Give us the dates and the venue again.
October 11th for the show.
October 11th is a Saturday.
Yeah.
And Piedmont is this little kind of Tony residential area in the middle of Oakland.
Yeah, historic homes and big.
Yeah, bedroom community in Oakland. Yeah.
Yeah,
and the venue. It used to be this church back in the teens of the last century, and it's been remodeled and repurposed.
But it's charming though, and beautiful acoustics, hardwood floor.
Yeah, amazing acoustics in there.
Yeah.
And where is it located?
In Piedmont, California, which is
downtown
kind of right
Piedmont.
in the middle of Oakland.
Yeah.
There's
and
Oakland,
once again,
and
the
then
name
there's
of
this
the
little
venue?
island called Piedmont.
That's the Piedmont Center for the Arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, PCFA. Okay, I know that. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
They also do art shows, which is how we found out about it. My cousin did a show there.
Well, everybody, pack your bags. We're going to Piedmont on October 11th.
Well, if you're not in the Bay Area, then you can go to RebeccaParksMusic.com, and there's ways to order it online.
Yep. Yeah, it's
all right.
digitally available too. So. Yeah.
Well, we wish you all the best with that. It's great to have you here. We'll see you again, no doubt. And thanks for coming. Rich, back to you.
All right, we are going to move east now. We're going to go to Raleigh, North Carolina for our final performer, who is no stranger here at Open Mic America. I'm speaking about Bette Paget. She's played on here many, many times. Always great to have her back. And besides playing on Open Mic America, she plays at the Folk Project's Monday Night Virtual Song Circle and the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, easy for you to say, of Raleigh Coffee House. She's also doing a lot of writing and co-writing and recording. No upcoming shows, but she's going to NERFA in November and looking forward to that. She also does a live stream for about 30 minutes on YouTube every Wednesday at 11 a.m. with her dog Moss. And you can find out about that 30-minute live stream if you go to her website, bettepaget.com, and click on the shows page, and there will be a link to the that Wednesday 11 a.m. Open mic. So, live performance, I should say. So, Bette, take it away.
I think I'll have my dinner out, a really special treat. Something that is tasty, I'll pick up off the street. I have a refined palate, with my menu I am bored. So I look around my yard and I'll have lots more. My master thinks she knows the best stuff for my bowl, but that same old dog food every day is getting rather old. Sushi for this poochie, cicadas on the lawn. Munchy crunchy for my lunchy, I'll eat them till they're gone. Rabbit candy is so dandy, it's not hard to find. It's everywhere in the yard, I see it all the time. Sometimes the deer leave gifts for me, I love it when they do. My person's never eaten it, so she doesn't have a clue. My taste buds change often, I used to eat dirt. The deli foods I'm eating now are widening my girth. I've got more exquisite taste than that, there is no doubt. My master's shocked with the stuff I put in my mouth. When crickets are in season, I eat more than I should. I try to hold back, but they're so doggone good. Like humans with potato chips, it's hard to stop at one. I save some for later, none are left when later comes. I'll let you in on a secret no one knows but me. If termites were for dinner, a happy doggy I would be. My human is a vegan, she refuses to eat meat. When it comes to mosquitoes, she's glad for all I eat. I'll have my dinner out, a really special treat. Something that is tasty, I'll pick up off the street. Right now.
Every dog owner loves that song. I love Rabbit Candy.
Oh, yeah. That was a song prompt, dog food. And my dog Moss, I don't know if he likes the kazoo or doesn't like the kazoo, but he goes bonkers over the kazoo and he'll jump up and down. And he does the same thing with spoons and shakers and didgeridoos. Anyhow, he's sort of the star of the show. Changing guitars here. That was a dandy guitar I just played. I was the lucky winner last December, and so I really enjoy playing that guitar, I really do. But this one is tuned very differently, and so it rather than spending all day like trying to retune, I just will change guitars. This is called well, it's actually a pretty new song, and so I'm in love with it right now, but it's called The Sweater I Never Wore. Her name was Josephine, my mother's mother. Her lips as red as her painted nails. We played Parcheesi, sometimes Scrabble and Monopoly. I put her in jail. She asked me questions, I gave her answers about what I thought and who I wanted to be. Her thoughts were different, she did not judge me, we just agreed to disagree. She took up knitting when I was 13, made me a sweater, it was ugly as sin. The brown yarn was uneven, it had a sailor's collar and buttons like torpedoes, there were 10. My friends wore bright colors, cable knit pullovers. As a teen, I just wanted to fit in. I pretended to like it, wore it one time, put it in the drawer, never saw it again. She was a good grandma, I know. How I loved her so, I didn't like the sweater. I saw her often, we made some memories through my first 18 years. Then came college, then the family, my obligations became so clear. The time between our visits grew, there always seemed so much to do. She became feeble, I became busy, should have seen her more often, I knew. She was a great grandma, I know. How I loved her so, I didn't like the sweater. The last time I saw her, she was sleeping. But I had questions, things I wanted to know about her mother's mother. Where did she come from? What was life like long ago? Were her thoughts just like her daddy's? Did she become who she wanted to be? She didn't answer, stayed silent, how I wanted her to talk to me. I wished her sweet dreams, kissed her softly and said, I hope she wasn't sore about the sweater, the one she made me, the one I never wore. She was the best grandmom I know. How I love her so. Where is that sweater? Where is that sweater?
Wow. Beautiful.
Beautiful guitar.
That's
Yeah, very beautiful. All right, Bet, let me pass you on over to Mike.
All right. So, you know me, guitar
know you,
geek,
Mike.
guitar geek guy. Was that a D35 you were playing there?
That was, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Early 70s?
Probably mid to late 70s.
Mid to
About
late
78,
70s, yeah.
I think. Hmm.
Yeah, thought I recognized the rosewood on it. Let me ask you this. What makes you... No. What drives you to finish the songs? Because we've talked about some of this before, and I have a sense that you get a burst in the beginning, lyric, that kind of thing, and then you do a lot of work, right? You don't get that many things that pop fully into your head from what you've said before.
Right. There've only been maybe 2 or 3 songs that just like came out, all at one time. It usually takes a couple of weeks to finish a song. I do get started on something and then it sort of eats at me, and I'll work on it a little bit every day until I'm happy with it or think I'm happy with it. So that is usually what happens. But what drives me to finish the song, I'm not a quitter. Okay? I'm
Okay.
just not going to quit till it's
Good
done.
enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the longest do you think that it took for something to get to the point where you were like ready to take it out and show it off?
Um, Probably a couple of months.
Yeah.
And there have been times when I was happy with something and performed it and even recorded it, and all my friends said, "This is a great song, it's wonderful," and then I sang it for people who didn't know me, and they didn't quite understand, they didn't get it because they didn't know me. And it, it taught me to write songs from a perspective that nobody does know me, so that I have to make things a lot more clear. And yeah.
Do you do the songwriter camps and those kind of things?
I used to go to Swananoa Gathering,
Oh, yeah.
and they had a week of songwriting, and I do attend workshops. I host one in Raleigh, and we meet once a month, and then the Folk Project has a songwriter workshop that meets twice a month.
And do you
on
teach at
Thursdays.
that workshop?
Not really. We don't. We just share songs
Okay.
and give critiques and song prompts and give ideas for songs. Yeah.
So when you went to Swananoa, you went to the songwriting week?
The songwriting and guitar week, yeah, and performance. It was.
Right.
This was a long
What,
time ago.
what years did you go? Do you remember?
Ooh, 96, 97, 98,
Ha.
99, 2000. Yeah,
I
quite
knew
a-
you looked familiar.
Oh, really? You were there?
96 and 97. I
How
was-
about that?
Yeah.
You came all the way from the West Coast? Wow.
Yes.
Wow. They have a reputation, of high caliber students, high
Well-deserved stuff.
caliber teachers, yes.
I think in '97, I think my friend Cozy might have been teaching there.
Oh, Cozy, yes, I know Cozy. I hosted a house concert series for about 20 years, and Cozy came and did several shows for us.
Yeah, she's the bomb. So if I had a magic wand, which I actually do, but I use it to conduct with, it's from the Harry Potter movie series. It used to be it was actually a kid waved it in the movie. But so I do have a magic wand, but it doesn't work very well. But if I had one that worked well, what would you want me to go? Bet Paget gets this for her songwriting.
What do you mean gets what? Like an A plus?
Some kind of knowledge, some kind of skill, some kind of control over how the process works, anything.
I think maybe to have lyrics come to me a little more quickly, or ideas. I usually start with the music, and then it sort of evokes an emotion, and that's sort of where I begin. Sometimes they sort of come all at the same time, but now I guess maybe maybe I wouldn't want anything, because then it wouldn't be as much of a challenge if everything came quickly and beautifully and just all fell into place. Right? It's sort of like.
If I'd had to bet money on your answer, that's exactly what I would have bet money on.
Oh,
It's like
really?
Nothing. Yeah. Well, certainly what you write is gorgeous stuff. I'm still waiting and hoping that banjo and you will get together and do some metal, some heavy metal banjo stuff. I think that would be. I think you could do that. Not many could.
Wow, heavy metal. I don't know. I do clawhammer, but
There you go.
I'll investigate some heavy metal banjo. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Maybe
All right.
some Led
Great
Zeppelin.
to see you again. Great to hear you. Thank you for playing the dandy. As we are dandy siblings now.
Right. It's a joy, a real
Yeah.
joy.
Okay, great. I look forward to seeing you again, and hopefully in not too long. And
Thank you.
be well. Yeah. All right. Got it here, Rich?
I've got it, and it's hard to believe, but here we are at the end of another great Open Mic America show. I'd like to thank performers quickly, one by one. Feel free to wave at the camera, performers. The Hewitt Family Band, Kevin Kelso, Chris Steele, Mike Simpson, Ron Carlson, Jennifer McQuaid, Hank Stone, Rebecca and Gary Parks, and Beth Paget. Listen, everybody, remember to check out our website, openmicamerica.com, for links to the music of all OMA performers. And you can actually find archives of previous shows. I'd also like to thank Mike Simpson, tonight's interviewing host, and of course, tonight's engineer, keeping things going, Capo Dave Williams. And a final thanks to all of the people who are watching us on YouTube right now and also in the coming weeks. If you like this show, please spread the word. Don't keep it a secret. You can even download and print your own posters and from our website and hang them somewhere where folks can see them in your area. You can also get, let me stand up here, this very cool Open Mic America t-shirt. You can design your own. Charlie Hewitt has one. Charlie, let's see it. Yeah, there it is. And Dave, Capo Dave's wearing his. And you can get your very own one. Go to our website, openmicamerica.com, and find the tab that will give you the information on designing your own t-shirt. You can make the logo as big or small as you want. Please check out your local and virtual open mics. We have listed the ones where our performers play under the local open mics tab on our website. And remember, we are here the first and third Sundays of every month. So that means our next show is going to be Sunday, October 5th, same time, same station. Stay tuned for the next full lineup of performers. So I'm going to ask all of our performers to wave and make sure you're muted. And I am going to say good night, America. We will see you later.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.